Morning, everyone. I'm Christopher Duran. I'm the business development manager at Polyfly. And today I'm here to introduce you to the Polyfly pollination solutions regarding the use of overflies as the new managed pollinators for crops in South Africa. Next slide, please. Regarding the summary and the presentation, so I'll be talking about Polyfly, what Polyfly is doing, and then we'll move to a slight introduction of the pollinators and the overflies that we are producing at Polyfly. Then we'll move to the seed industry topic regarding what Polyfly has been doing so far and what could be the next steps regarding South Africa, and mainly with a focus on macadamia production. So Polyfly is a company based in Spain. It's been created about 9 years ago now. We currently are moving to a new step regarding the setup of a new facility, and we are more in an industrial way of production regarding the overflies that we are doing. The first phase was as a laboratory or garage step, and regarding all the R&D for the production, but also regarding the commercialization of the overflies. And this year in 2025, we moved bigger with a bigger facility for the production. And also we moved bigger regarding the business market, because we were mainly selling the overflies to the European countries, and now we are selling abroad outside of Europe, as we are doing in Japan or in South Africa since this summer. Our team is built with more than 30 people. So I'm the business development manager, and we are a very small team so far regarding all the business and commercial activities. But it's going to be different in 2026, because new people will join our team. And you can see that the progression of our history. So it's been about 9 years now, but we are getting bigger and even more professional, as now we know how to do the production of the overflies, and how to sell them abroad regarding all the logistics. Next slide, please. So basically, regarding the history of the innovation that we are offering to the agriculture world, we used to work with bees and bumblebees mainly, and also regular flies in the agriculture. And back to the history, it all started about 50 years ago in Japan, with the study of a specific family of flies, which are the overflies or the drone flies. And with the creation of Polyfly, we can say now that we are the first company in the world being able to domesticate and produce overflies at a very large scale, to be able to ship them to companies, to farmers all around the globe. And regarding the focus of the history, we decided to work on two different species. First, the Eristalis tenax, which we call the queen fly, and also the Eristalis aenus, which we call the gold fly, because they are main cosmopolitan overflies present in the world. And what was interesting for us was to make sure that we can produce them at large scale, but also to make sure that we could ship them all around the world. Regarding all the paperwork and the authorizations of the countries, because we know that it could be tricky and complicated to ship insects and to make them introduced in specific countries. So regarding South Africa, we can say now for sure that queen fly and gold fly have been identified as local overflies, so they exist naturally in the South African environment, as they are in most of the countries all around the world. And we are also working on different new overflies, which could be interesting regarding our progression and new products that we could offer to our customers. So you can see here in the progression of the history that the main interest, even if it started about 50 years ago, the main interest started about last decade, let's say, and countries like Australia are really interested in the R&D and the production of overflies, because we know that bumblebees are not authorized in different countries in the world. So it all relies on the bees availability. And we also know that the availability, the production of hives and bees, is getting trickier. It's a struggle for the agriculture sector in the world, and we can see that the overflies could be a good complement and a good solution to avoid less pollination, and so the overflies could ensure stable production in the world regarding different types of crops, and we will talk about it a bit later. Next slide, please. So the managed pollinators, as I already told you, are mainly known and renowned as the bees and the bumblebees. So that's the global history. And lately, we also know that you have the progression of the production regarding solitary bees and the blowflies. So, for instance, in Europe, the blowflies are used a lot in the seed sector, for instance. And there is also the overflies. So we cannot say that overflies are yet traditional pollinators, but we hope that someday they will be treated as the traditional pollinators, as well as the bees or the bumblebees could be. They are a part of the fly family, so they are what we call the Diptera. And their behavior is a bit as a mimic of the bees, but they are not social as bees, and they don't live in hives like the bees are doing, basically. And you can also see that regarding the nectar and the pollen, they will feed on both. So they will be impacting properly on the pollination. So the behavior of the overflies is quite similar as the bees regarding the feeding. And so they can ensure a good pollination depending on the type of crops, because for some crops we can see and say that honeybee or the bumblebees are better than the overflies, and we will talk about it a bit later. Next slide, please. So here is a slight introduction of the overflies. What are the overflies? So they are what we call the Syrphidae family. You can find more than 6,000 species all over the planet. and it's the second bigger insect family in the world. um, and they are really good regarding the environment, because they don't put bad pressure on the natural environment. And regarding the life cycle, so you have the first, it all starts with the egg production, which move to larvas, and then transform to pupae or cocoon. And then you can have the overflies as adults in your crops. So Polyfly is selling the overflies under the stage of pupae in the boxes, because that's the last phase on which we have control regarding the development of the insects. So we ship boxes with the pupae inside, and then between 2 to 5 days, depending the storage, you have what we call the emergence. So that's the transformation from pupae to the overfly or adults. And you have the possibility to uh, control a bit the emergence, to make sure that the insects will get out of the box at the right time. So most of the time we try to ship the boxes once the flowering has started. Next slide, please. So, as I told you a bit earlier, we have two species currently at Polyfly. We have the queenfly and the goldfly. You can see that we have the distribution in the small maps that you have on this slide. So basically, the box you have, we ship the pupae in different types of boxes. So we start with what we call the XS. So that's mainly for very small cages. So we have XS, S, M, L, and XL. XL is one innovation of this year. And the XL will be really well adapted for open field production and really big tunnels, with because they come with a higher capacity of pupae inside. So the differences between queenfly and goldfly, so they are both really good pollinators. They work at different temperatures. The queenfly will be considered as really good for uh, low temperatures. So starting 8 to 10 degrees, they will start working. So that's also a good um, a good trait of the queenfly regarding the bees or bumblebees activity, because they will start working earlier in the season, and they will start also working earlier in the day. So they are a good complement with the bees, for instance, because you can put both in the same crop, and they won't be working at the same time. So your pollination will be wider in the day. And they look like bees, but they don't sting. And as I told you, they are not social insects. So once they get out of the box, they will stick to the flowers inside the crop. And as long as you have flowers, they will feed on them, and they won't fly too far away from the box that they get out of, because they don't communicate. So even if you have other crops around, they won't be telling to the other overflies that better food could be uh, a bit more interesting outside of the crop that you will be pollinating. So that's some very good point regarding the queenfly and the goldfly. So regarding the insect morphology, queenfly would be twice bigger as the goldfly. So that's why you can find different capacities. And let's say one Excel queen fly box will have about 10,000 pupae, while the gold fly will have 20,000 pupae inside. It's really easy to use, and very convenient as well. You won't have to move the box from one point in the crop to another one, like you can have to do with the bees and the hives, because you cannot keep the hives too long at the same place. So that's very convenient for use. And regarding also the interest, the queen fly or gold fly are really docile, so they can be in the same field as bees, bumblebees, blowflies, or even other insects, and they will focus on feeding on the crops. And the main difference will be, let's say, the temperature at which they will start working. So as I told you a bit earlier, the queen fly will start working at very low temperature, and the gold fly, they will start working about 15 to 16 degrees, but they will be still active at high temperature, let's say about 35 degrees. The good thing is that they won't die if the temperature drops under 0 degree. And we have some examples that this year in Spain, for instance, we reached about 45 degrees at midday during May and June, and the goldfly were still there. They don't die. They will stop working for a while because they need to rest, but they adapt very properly to the different environment conditions and weather. And the queen fly is also very interesting because it works under let's say cloudy environments, so they are not really sunlight dependent. So that's also one good advantage that we have. Next slide, please. So here, I will invite you to go through the table, but it's for you to see what could be the different characteristics that we measure when we do our R&D and trials. So that's a summary of what I said a bit earlier in the previous slide. What we did is that we started the production in the first phase, seeing that if we could stabilize, male and females, the production of the eggs, and also make sure that we could reach a standardized product. So that was the first phase at Polyfly, and then we contacted and started trials with seed companies, because we knew we have had a lot of papers saying that the overflies could be very good to be used as pollinators on brassica, for instance, or carrots, onions. So we reached different seed companies with which we put some trials. So that's why the first sector that we started working with was the seed sector. And you can see that we are relevant on, well, the overflies are relevant on different types of seeds now, and we are still doing R&D. Every year we invest in R&D development to make sure that we get good results and statistics on the crops that we know the overflies are efficient, but we also open the portfolio to all the crops, and let's say so regarding the seeds now, but also regarding the um open field production. And 2 years ago, we started, for instance, the trials on the avocado, and we got really, really good results. So we keep on doing trials. Next year, new trials will be done on avocado in Spain and also in South Africa. And we so avocado is one example. We also do trials on almonds, because that's a major crop, and very interesting regarding the pollination needs. And we are also developing the trials on the berries production. So for instance, strawberry, we have the guarantee that because we've been doing trials for years now, so we have the guarantee that the overflies are really, really good. They work really good on strawberries, and we are moving to raspberry and blueberry. And blueberry, as you know, is one major sector in South Africa. So that's also one part of the Polyfly's history, indicating why we opened to the South African market, because in South Africa you have a very important seed sector, but also avocado and berries, berry production. Next slide, please. So what we do is that regarding the setups and trials that we started doing with the seed companies, um, we we have people in our team uh, doing the trials with all the companies that you can see. So we worked with very major ones, such Syngenta, Selecta, LDA, and Corteva. Well, that's just some names dropped here. Um, and we always started with trials on the very small cages first, to make sure that okay, the overflies are interested in feeding on the specific crop. And what's good with the seed sector is that every year they develop new hybrids, new varieties, so the trials are easy to set up from one year to another. And it also provides us with a lot of information from one year to another, making our R&D stronger and relevant. Next slide, please. So as I told you, about 2 years ago, we started open field trials, mainly in Europe, huh? Let's say in Spain, because the company is based in Spain. What we will be able to do in 2026 is to do trials, bigger trials on the open field crops, such the seed production, but not only, as I told you, regarding avocado, for instance, or almonds in Spain. Um, we were not able to do big trials in open fields only because the production was quite limited before we got the new facility this year. So that's also why we wanted to focus our R&D on proper sized trials to make sure that we will be able to produce enough overflies for these trials while commercializing the overflies to our regular customers. So how to use the overflies? It's quite easy, as I told you. We also have the information from research centers from Australia and New Zealand, for instance. They are the major ones working on the overfly research in the world, and we know that the overflies are considered as a very very good alternative pollinator to mainly when it comes to open field production. Um, the, the very high interest is that it's not that easy to produce, because otherwise Polyfly wouldn't be the only one in the world. So it could be tricky and complicated, and it asks major efforts to make sure that the insects the insect production is good, and properly done. However, it's easy to manage. So as I told you, you receive the boxes, you keep them for a few days at temperature around 20 degrees, and then you have the overflies getting out of the cocoon, and they will be feeding on the flowers for 2 weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks, depending on the temperature in the crop, and the weather conditions too. So um, once it get out of the box, then you don't have to bother anymore, which is also one strong advantage regarding other bees or bumblebees. Um, and you can also walk through your tunnel or through your crop in the open field, because there is no risk. So even if you go, you can see them, they can fly around, they won't sting, so there is no allergy risk, which makes also the use of the overfly interesting in the agriculture sector. So this is how we created this year this flyer regarding the use of the boxes for all of our customers. We are also obviously available on WhatsApp to share information and answer the questions of our customers. But you can see that it's quite easy. It's 3 steps, let's say. So to receive the boxes, to make sure that you store them properly, and then that you put them early in the morning in the crop, um, and away from some predators or water. That's all. It's really, really easy to use. And the idea is that also in 26 we'll have a video with the new boxes, because you can, as you can see here, the blue box and the small yellow ones are new boxes. So we wanted to market properly the new logo of Polyfly and the new boxes. So that's really easy, really easy. So and here, that's the main focus, because we talked a lot about seeds and regarding the macadamia production. You could say that there is no link, which is right so far, but that was to tell you what we do and um, how we move on. At Polyfly, and we've been in touch with different macadamias producers from South Africa, uh, asking for some setups to be done. So the idea is that like for avocado, like for almond, we at the beginning we didn't have a real clue of the efficiency of the overflies on the crop. We need to make sure that the overflies will be attracted by the flowers of the specific crop. So what we do is to set up some trials and simple observations. Or we cannot be at all the places where we do the trials, but it's also really easy to observe. And when you are walking through the field, you can hear the sound of the overflies when they are flying around and feeding on the flowers. So simple observations will let us know, okay, it works or not on the specific crop. And we have some articles saying that it should be relevant to use overflies on macadamias. And these articles, I will be able to share it to share them with you after the presentation. If you want to learn more about the trials already done on the use of the overflies with the macadamia production. So in 2026, we will move to the next steps, saying that obviously we will stick to the seed production R&D, but we will also be opening to new crops. So the major crops of interest for Polyfly are the avocado, the almonds, and the berries. But we are not closing the door to all the crops. And for instance, macadamias could be one good crop to set up some trials on. And basically, we will need to have discussions with you if you are interested in a collaboration with Polyfly. Seeing what is the shape of your field, the density of trees, and also understanding better the seasonality of the flowering, because that's the most important, to make sure that we apply the overflies at the right time, because a bit earlier is not efficient, and the flies, they will die if they don't have food. And if it's too late, once again, it's not relevant because you will miss your pollination window. And that's something we want to avoid. So we are having different discussions with potential partners to prepare the setup of trials. And for instance, currently I'm having for a month now, I was having discussions with strawberry producers in Europe to make sure that setups could be done by January. So you see, it's like a couple of months before the flowering period to start. We can have discussions, work on protocols, and make sure that we agree on all the characteristics of the trials, and that we make sure to ship and deliver the boxes at the right time. So that's the idea. It's one slide calculator. Basically, if we want to see that the overflies are working on your environment, on your farm, we can stick to the density that some trials already put as relevant. And we can also make some trials seeing that, okay, what are the pollinators that you are already using? What could be the complementarity with the use of the overflies? And then, we can work on the density, which would be good. And obviously, we need to make sure that the density is right and adapted to the crop, but we also need to make sure that the density is economically interesting for you. And that's all the information and the steps that we are working when we are starting collaborating with companies or with farmers. And when we start, it's on the long shot. We are not just shipping the boxes and saying good luck to the user. We are there all along the way, and having discussions also at the end regarding the yields improvement. And so the next year we would be able to propose a more adapted solution. So that's what we call tailored pollination um, solution to our customers. And we need to make sure that our overflies are seen as a efficient and a competitive pollination solution, um, because otherwise it doesn't make sense for you to use the overflies if the pollination rate and cost is too high. So that's what we are working on, and that's why we also need good and transparent collaborators, not afraid to spend some time over discussions or WhatsApp calls with us, sharing a day-to-day information and news, so we know better what could be the best the best solution for this specific crop. So that would be what we could work on with you. Um, Seeing that, okay, what could be the setup that we would do together, and on which plot area or which acreage, in which conditions, um, and work on the density, and also make sure that the delivery and transport costs are well handled. And this is only for you to see a bit more what could be budget calculation. Basically, we send quotations, you sign them, and then we make sure that the boxes are delivered on time. That's only to show you the simple steps. We try to make it easy also regarding the commercialization, and we are there also all along with our customers. And in 2026, there will even be a new innovation for us, which will be the portal. So each customer will have a specific and personalized access to this portal with all the history of the orders, and they will be able to make their own orders instead of asking me or my colleagues. And so it will save some time and make the process uh, easier for everyone. And here, for the last slide, I invite you to go and see what these different entities have been doing regarding pollination. But you can see that um, diversifying the species managed for pollination could enhance pollination, provide insurance against perturbations, so in the supply of existing species. That's very interesting to hear, so because it shows that Polyfly is on the right path, and we don't see us as the solution for everything and everyone, but we see us as a very good complement with the what already exists in regarding pollination. You can also stick to the quote saying that develop and build markets for alternative managed pollinators, and developing alternative managed pollinators requires biological and technical knowledge about the local species to ensure reliable supplies for growers. So that's also something that we really make sure that we don't lose track at Polyfly. We are continuously looking for adapted new overflies. And for instance, in South Africa, you have a very interesting species on which we are already starting some trials regarding the intern production. And we keep our mind and our eyes open for innovations regarding the pollination solutions that we would be able to offer in the future. So I remain available. If you have questions, I believe that we could share through WhatsApp, and probably, I hope, having discussions and meetings with you, so we can learn more about each other. And I'm really looking forward to start collaborating with you regarding the macadamia and the overflies. Thank you.